Go. All right, I'll call to order Woodland Hills Metropolitan District regular meeting for Thursday, August 24th, and I have 5:37. And item 2 will be roll call.
Stacy Popovich, present. Kelsey Ives, present.
Troy Stinson, present.
Sherry Ringen, present.
And John Martin is out of state on family matter. And I'll motion we excuse John from the meeting. He offered to call in.
I'll second.
Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 3 would be director disclosures.
No conflicts.
All right, item 4 is approval or disapproval of the agenda.
Yeah, we were going to add a discussion on services to Eagle Review to the executive session item 18. In addition to that, are there any additional disclosures or conflicts regarding this discussion?
Okay, with that amendment to the agenda, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
I'll second.
I got a motion by Sherry and a second by Stacy. Any other discussion on it? No? All in favor of approval?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. And item 5, President's welcome and remarks. I appreciate y'all handling the last meeting. I was kind of in and out of it. It was freaking hot in Oklahoma for that week. But welcome everybody. I guess you guys had quite the audience last one. Not
It was
quite
hot
the
here.
audience.
That was.
So we won't need, I won't go into rules. Y'all know how to behave. Somebody want to lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance.
All right.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. All right, item 6, public comment regarding current board business not on the agenda. Is there anybody who wishes to make public comment on any item not on the agenda? Nobody, huh? Okay. Open the window and ask somebody to comment.
We used their allotment last month.
That was more than enough.
All right, item 7, approval or disapproval of the financials. Lee Carter got them all for us. Was anybody gonna speak to them? That's a no. I don't think that there was anything outstanding. I don't remember marking anything online on my computer that there was anything out of the ordinary on there. Everything was within budget. And you're gonna talk about the headworks and stuff anyway in your briefing, right? And there was an item on yours, budget item on yours. JD's always got budget items on his, so. All right, if there's nobody with any comments on the budget, I'll entertain, or on the financials, I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny, or disapprove the financials.
I'll make a motion to approve the financials as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, I've got a motion to approve by Stacy and a second by Sherry. Any further discussion on the financials? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion carries 4-0. All right, item 8, discuss status of the 2022 audit. Who's speaking to that?
I'll touch base on that real quick. So this is just a quick update for the board. Carter's expecting the final documents in the next week or so. So they're expected to be approved in September.
Okay.
Does everyone know why it's late? Like, okay, so it's late because the company that we switched to, that was doing it, the gentleman who started our audit, left the company. And nobody touched our file again until we were calling for a status of finalizing it. And they didn't realize that they hadn't started it. So that's why it's late.
And for the public, we had the same audit company for years. We elected to change audit companies to get a fresh audit, so that we get a fresh look instead of the standard red stamp from an audit company, or however they reviewed it every year. For the previous years, we switched. I think we actually picked 3 audit companies to take a look to make sure that we were within all of our guidelines on our enterprise exceptions and the way we handle your money. And item 9, attorney's report.
So I don't have anything specific to call out on the attorney report. I'll touch base on the rules and regs with the next agenda item, but I'm happy to field any other questions on it.
Anybody have any questions on the attorney's report? Okay, no questions on that. We'll go to item 10, which will be considered for approval, the resolution adopting the amended and restated district rules and regulations.
So as we talked about previously, Woodland Hills used to have a combined set of rules and regulations and bylaws. We have since split those into 2 documents. The bylaws were adopted at the prior meeting. So we're requesting the adoption of the rules and regulations at this meeting. I would also ask that they be adopted subject to final legal revisions. We are tweaking the wording of a couple of sections as we work with the enterprise directors to make sure it's as accurate as possible. And I do want to specifically call out that none of the fees will be changing after this approval.
It made for some great reading.
Yes, it did. But I think we improved and addressed an awful lot of things that were either lacking or missing.
Actually, they look really good compared to what had been previously put in place, and even just the way they were written themselves and broke down themselves, so it's a lot cleaner, easier for people to find things in there if they want to go look up even the specs and different stuff that's part of everything. It's a lot easier for everybody to find stuff, so I appreciate all our work that went into it.
So I will make a motion to approve the resolution adopting amended and restated district rules and regulations subject to legal approval.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Sherry and a second by Stacy to approve the resolution adopting the amended and restated district rules and regulations. Any other discussion on them? None heard. All in favor of approval? Aye. Any opposed? Did you get this in? Did you have an answer? I didn't hear you.
Oh, no. None opposed.
None opposed?
None opposed. Yeah. I might have left for a minute, but I'm back now. My vacation was lovely.
Motion carries. All right, item 11. Consider for approval resolution to approve the 3rd amendment to district charges and fees.
So this document does not actually change any of the fee amounts specifically. It is, only adds a one-liner stating how the rounding works when calculating fees. Specifically adding a line that water consumption is billed at the following tier rates and is rounded to the nearest 100 gallons. That's the only change to this document.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to approve the third amendment to the district charges and fees.
I'll second.
Second by Sherry. Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 12 is considered for approval the CST Metro LLC inclusion and service agreement. And that is for, I know there were some questions on this item. I know Sherry, I think you had questions on this.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this is the inclusion agreement that has been in the works for a while with Circle K. Kind of the purpose of this was to address just kind of a few of the outlying issues in conjunction with the Water Council, kind of the most pertinent being the abandonment of any wells on the property. Trying to see anything else specifically on this one, but I'm happy to answer questions. This one's been in works for quite some time.
Right, and it was my understanding that this was gonna be a commercial property. And now there is the possibility that it's gonna be a residential property, and if we accounted for that with the water treatment plant.
I actually do not know the answer to that. I can follow up with Water Council.
I mean, is that something we need to worry about, Wally? If they go from commercial to residential?
So it's being brought in as a commercial property, but paragraph 3 goes into discussing the fact that if they decided to change from commercial to residential, then they would be subject to fees. But did they submit anything that would lead us to believe that they were including residential, or that they were gonna change it to residential at some point?
I don't see anything.
Because my understanding was they were taking up the whole thing to build that gas station.
I believe, Troy, that they were wanting to still go ahead with the phase 1 with the full build out of that original before they added those other properties. And I asked about the addressing of that secondary property, what they were gonna be doing with that, and then they referred to that in paragraph 3, that they entertained maybe they could put something residential in there.
I guess our biggest question would be is since there's no plans now, and we sign this inclusion bringing them in, and they use, say, lot 1 for the gas station, and then decide that they wanna throw apartments on the other lots, then what? I mean, I didn't see anything in there prohibiting SFEs or stating what those SFEs would be if they went to a residential. So, I mean, is this gonna give them like a carte blanche?
The problem is, I can't remember how it works. I think zoning C is commercial, if it's zoning CS, it's commercial, but if you look at the rules for it, you can throw residential, including high density residential on it. So it could open the door for them. Is it overstepping our bounds if we limit it to strictly the commercial development?
And a couple options, we could always table this to next month, we can touch base with Water Council and see how this specific section 3 has future implications for residential builds. We could also adopt, subject to final legal revision, and specifically that some sort of language be changed that no residential would be built on lot 2.
Well, Sherry had a valid point looking at it and bringing it up to the fact that we had the issue here on the corner lot with Randy Cake's property, where they originally submitted plans for a certain number of townhomes, and then all of a sudden, when it came to in front of us for a vote, it had been changed to high density, to where they were trying to cram, I don't know how many
Like
homes,
68.
like 68 homes in an 8-acre spot. well, this is another 8-acre spot out there. Is this an end around, trying to get around planning and everything else with their approval or the inclusion agreement with us by saying, hey, this is gonna be a gas station and that, because it specifically states in there, it gives them the option to go to residential. And then our regular residential fees would kick in for that, you know, rec and all that stuff, but still, I don't think Falcon is ready for apartments out here yet. And that's always our concern, is, you know, with the housing prices out here and things, if you're gonna start throwing in apartments everywhere, you can sink the housing market out here.
So this.
Now, we can't control the development of that, but we can control the amount of SFEs we have available for those properties.
Certainly, so kind of a couple options for the board. The first would be to adopt subject to revision, specifically removing any sort of residential development language from here or reclassifying specifically for commercial purposes. The others we table this to next month, make any changes as needed and approve.
I would, me personally, and this is up for discussion here, is, me personally, my opinion is we table it to next month and clean it up to where this inclusion is for residential property, or for commercial property.
Okay.
Not for residential property. You know, we're considering this for inclusion of a commercial property, which comes with different taps, a different level of commitment than a residential property. You know,
Okay.
Falcon Fields was very upfront and forthcoming with us when they said, hey, we want to take this piece and make it commercial, and then we want to take these pieces and make them residential. This seems like that they're just leaving the door open to where we can plop in whatever we want. And if you look right down the road on 24 where the Circle K was built, and now they're putting in apartment complexes right next to it. So I have a feeling that that is what we would see here if we went forward with the inclusion as written.
Okay, understood.
Anybody have any?
Mm-mm.
Then I'll entertain a motion to table item 12.
I'll make a motion to table item 12, the approval of the CST Metro LLC inclusion and service agreement
To next month's.
to next month's meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, I've got the motion from Stacy and a second from Sherry. Any other discussion on that? All in favor of tabling item 12?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. What's the date on the next meeting?
September 28th.
28th?
I just don't like leaving it open like that.
No, and that's a good point. You brought up on that. That was very, it's just vague enough to allow a loophole in there.
And then Wally be calling having a stroke because they want 5,000 SFEs.
Sorry, there's no rooms open at the hotel.
Exactly.
All right, you gotta go down to the creek to get some water.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to item 13, Park and Rec report.
All right, we've had a busy week. We found out yesterday that our musician for this weekend was sick and could not attend this weekend, so we, by the end of the day, had a new musician, so.
Marcus Draves and the.
No. Nobody wants to hear that. Stephanie kicked that around with her husband's a drummer. I was like, I don't know, between that and Will, I don't think he wants us on there. But we've got a Midnight Hippie, and they are a cover band. They cover Alanis Morissette. It's kind of a modern group, so it was great. So it worked out, and we were able to get a new musician in a very short amount of time. So
That's
the
tomorrow.
party will still Saturday. So that'll be Saturday from 4 to 7.
I don't even know what that is.
I know, I'm losing track too. It's all a blur. So, yeah, the illness is whipping through. So it's going around because we're seeing it over at the rec center. We have a lot of sick staff too, so we're working through that. We're doing good. We're coming down to the end of our programming for summer programming, and we, by all accounts, had a successful summer. If you compare our year-to-date to last year-to-date, we're still trending at a higher amount from last year, so we're doing good on our revenues, and then same with our expenses. Our big project, over the last month was our pool closure. We were going to close the whole facility, decided that the pool was in worse shape than we thought, so we didn't want to bite off too much, which was good, because we barely got it open when we said we would. We had to rebuild one power washer, at one point having 3 going just to get that deck cleaned, get the shell clean, the plaster clean, and all that on the pool. But the good thing is, the actual mechanics of the pool look good, the inlets and the grates and everything like that, so that was all in good shape. We didn't have to make any repairs there. Chlorinators went out the next week, which is always something. The boilers or chlorinators, when after you drain something and fill it back up, there's always something that goes awry, so, but we were able to get that fixed. There was no closure, we were able to keep everything running the whole time. Had to hand feed for about 48 hours, but we kept it at. We're supposed to go up 2.5 parts per million, we're keeping it at 3 just in case, so we didn't get below on the chlorine, but we were just fine for those 2 days, so. And now the pool is totally different, and you can see those pictures, the deck was fairly disgusting. Those decks do get rough, I mean, it's just, but it had been a while. It had some muck on it, so we were able to do that, and in the locker rooms, we were able to get everything.
Was that how dirty the bottom of the pool was?
Yeah. Sides and bottoms and gutters and, yeah, it was pretty, there's a lot of, you can't really see it when there's water in it, but there was quite a bit of algae, and that's just because it hadn't been drained in so long. It would just build up, so when we get it out, we power wash it. We were just gonna do TSP on it, but we had to go muriatic acid to get it back to the plaster and get it looking nice, so, but it looked really good when it's all said and done, so. And now everybody knows how to do it, so now we're good. We were able to meet our timeline. And we started draining Monday morning, and by the next Monday, both pools were at temperature and at camp, so we were successful, but we were hurrying. And then outdoor pool will be closing up after Labor Day, so Labor Day itself will be the last day for there. This week, we've had enough staff this year to, in the evenings, have the pool open from 4 to 7. We've been doing that as long as we can, so that we can maintain operations of both pools. And then next week is where the cliff drops off, so we start losing the college students. So next week we go to, during the week, the guards will go to RCE and keep that one open. This week closed during the week, but on the weekends we'll still be open out here normal hours. And we've had great response. We'll probably put my budget together for next year. I think I'll just keep it, we did 10 to 8. We started at 11 to 8. We got some comments of wanting 10, so we kicked it to 10, and we've had really good response for that. So we'll probably keep it 10 to 8, where in years past it was 10 to 6. So we're gonna maintain keeping it 2 hours open to get families, encourage families to come in the evenings and utilize the pool. And hopefully next year it won't be as much lightning and rain. This started out a bit rough this year. The detention ponds, we're working through those. We've cut those back. They're starting to dry out. Thankfully, not thankfully, however you want, that we haven't had as much rain recently, so we were able to start getting those things down. Parkside, we gotta get that down to where we can get a mower in it and be able to get that out. So we're gonna rent a skid steer with a flail attachment and get all that out and get that down. Monuments, one of the things we did, we bought the power washer on a trailer. It's a 4,000 PSI, but it has a 150-gallon water tank on it. So now we're gonna start cleaning the monuments on a monthly basis. So we'll start spraying those. And then also the outdoor courts, pickleball and basketball and the playgrounds and stuff like that. So we have a way to clean our outside equipment now on that. We don't have to hook it up to a hose. I can say, I've been saying it since I've been here, and it was before I got here, but Falcon Park lights are up. So they're good to go, and they turned out really good. So we did make the adjustment so they're not, before they had them spread out over the turf field, and it left, basically they're parking lot lights, so they left a lot. You couldn't, they really did us no good except for right there. So adjusted them and had Ross put them, so now there's, on the little mini field that sits behind the pickleball courts, put 2 lights there, so the mini field will be lit up. And then the pickleball court will have 2 lights on it, so pickleball will be lit up. Basketball has 2 lights, it'll be lit up, and the playground will be lit up. So all the features now are lit up and adequately lit, but not to the point where they're disturbing the neighborhood. We haven't been on for about a week now and haven't received one complaint yet from the neighborhood. So, and then the cameras are going up. The internet was finished just earlier this week they brought it within 6 feet of the box, but didn't connect it to the box. So this week they connected it to the box, and the advance alarm will go out and put out those cameras probably next week was when they'll get those up. We did put some temporary cameras that run off solar over by the Santalets. They were getting tipped over quite frequently for about a 2-week span. It was like almost every other day. But as soon as we put those on, it went away. There was no tippage, so we're good there, so.
Got some kids on motorbikes out there too on the field.
We did, last Friday, we caught a kid out there on a bike last Friday night, so. Yeah, it's still not as much as it is, and the neighborhood's really good at policing it. They'll usually chase them off and then call us and be like, I chased somebody off, and.
Yeah, I got like 4 phone calls and I was like, I don't know why you're calling me.
Yeah.
Call
Yeah, we
Rick
got
Center,
them,
the sheriff's
yeah,
office.
so, yeah, so look, yeah, it's still, I mean, it'll happen, I'm sure. I mean, it's, we've seen in the community all the time, with them through there. But there's another, some of the things we're doing mowing is trying to discourage a lot of that. So like, for example, along that creek that runs beside Belkin on the block over, we're doing a beauty band mow around the sidewalk, and then we're mowing inside the bed, the creek bed, so we don't get the debris in there, but we are letting it grow out because that was a main thoroughfare for those dirt bikes. So we are trying to make some decisions to discourage the dirt bike driving, if you will, so best we can. But yes, so we do have lights. Community park, we're still waiting on our supply chain. We have a broken rocker spring horse out there. It's been broken since I got here, but we ordered that in June and still not. I just called this morning, we won't have it till October still, so just waiting on that. And then we talked about Captivate, that's a new fun thing coming up. So we're in the process of building out Captivate, which is runs congruent with ActiveNet. And our residents will be able to check in with it. It gives them a barcode. So there's a couple cool things we're trying to find out if we can do. Because right now we're recognizing getting in and out of the gym is a pain. If you press the button, it's a lot of work for the person in front. Because if you got someone in front of you, you got a telephone, you're helping somebody inside, the gym's going off, and you get somebody in there. So what our ultimate goal is to try to find a way where they'll be able to scan their phone out there, and at least brings them up so that we can just let them in. And kind of alleviate some of that congestion out there, because it's only getting worse, and in the winter, it's really bad when it's 10 degrees outside, and you're waiting to be let in. So we're trying to, but that's one thing, you'll be able to sign up for fitness classes, you'll be able to sign up for athletic leagues, any other classes, our Cookies with Santa, anything that we have registration for, you'll be able to register for on the app now. And it'll be, you can still do it, but right now on your phone, it takes you to the actual website versus this will be app-based. We'll be able to do that. And then also, there's all kinds of, one of the big is the push too, for pushing out information. If we have a weather closure, delay, instructor illness, if anybody who has that app and you have the notifications on, we'll be able to tell you. So the instructor, so if an instructor's sick, we'd be like, instructor's sick, and you'll get it on your app. As long as you have notifications on it. I know everybody turns those notifications off, you gotta leave that on. And especially with weather closure, because ever since I've been here, how to get that, because we've been depending on Facebook and our website, but I mean, Facebook with the animal, just, if you see it, you'll be lucky, the way that it's built. So that's not a good way of doing it, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I normally get the notification, like, the rec center was closed 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That's handy.
Yeah, I want to get rid of that. So this app will be a great way of doing that. So, and then we'll be able to brand it. So I kind of put on there what we're doing. We're gonna call it. So what you see on that little picture there is what it'll look like roughly on the App Store and on the Google Store. It'll say Woodman Hills like that, and then we're gonna call it My Rec. So whenever we refer to it, we're gonna refer to it as my rec, and when we make the big push to have people sign up and everything, we'll call it my rec on that, but it'll have our logo, our colors and things like that on it too, so really excited on that. Our goal is to have that completely rolled out by Thanksgiving, because then that's when the weather hits and we can start having weather delays or any closures put on it.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome, and, I mean, it comes with a price, but honestly, the price is, it's $4,000 or $5,000 a year, and we're already paying that much for ActiveNet, and trying to find that safety feature, especially when you got kids, and we're doing things at the centers. If there's something, heaven forbid, something really happens, where we have to have a lockout, lockdown situation, this will also be a safety tool also to give parents that information if we have their kids locked in the facility.
Have we looked any more into I know originally we had looked at putting a covered walkway in between the rec center and the gym.
Yeah, so I've started my budget process for this year. One of the things I'm doing a couple different options. One, going from pie in the sky, I'm meeting with Hammers, and, because I need to be educated on how the project went. They don't really know, so I'm meeting with them to see what was the actual cost to have it connected, what did that mean, without actually being in the room to know, and can we do it, what would that cost look like? From that all the way to the covered awning to it. So kind of going multiple different options to see which would be the best option for us. And the nice thing is if we could get it, and we're talking with Hammers about that, because then we would extend that back gym all the way to that back hallway in front of the locker rooms, and that's where it would connect. And it would make that gym bigger too, because that's the one complaint we hear a lot is our gym is too small, it's too small, it's too small.
It's what we could afford at the time.
Yeah, I know, yeah, so.
All right, any questions for Marcus? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, item 14, the water report.
With everything that goes down in equipment. But filter plant one, we had our side wave filter, which it monitors frequencies between the VFD and the motor so it doesn't hammer them to death and cause it to short live. Well, that failed. So in the meantime, we had one that we just decommissioned up there at well site 3 on the new Therock project, and we used it temporarily until we can get a new one, and that one will probably be about a couple more weeks before we get that. And we can put that plant back together as an operating plant. Well site 6, unfortunately, we had a VFD that just finally just went. And there was not really a way to rebuild that one because it was fairly newish. It was about 4 years old. And so the one that we're using from well site 3, we had that one on hand. We could use it in that well site, and that's where that one is, but I'm gonna get another one on order. We know that the lead times are still about 8 months to a year because of part issues. The update there at Therock from the last time that we spoke there on 7/19 and 23 until the 16th of this month. The filter vessels were put on the housekeeping pads, rough framing, sheeting, siding, roofing, exterior painting, doors, window frames, and rough interior plumbing, as well as electrical conduits. And the frame walls were completed. We're just waiting for inspections to be called by Glacier. And right now, currently, they are working on the sewer main extension into the property and to connect that into the new building. The Younger water update, as part of the continuing due diligence period, a new 30-day extension was made, which ends at 31st of this month. Respect is generating legal descriptions of the easements and some of the office surveying and some field work as well that have to go involved with that. We just got a title commitment on Tuesday, and I was writing this report I got in the afternoon, so it's moving quite really nice. As of the 16th of this month, Falcon Highlands Metro District has no other projects currently, other just the Sherwin-Williams building that they are doing remodeling for that. Bentgrass Residential and Bentgrass Commercial and Falcon Marketplaces are still in development stages. King Supers are now putting in their gas tanks for the kiosk store. Those in the ground are being tested currently. Falcon Highlands Metro District, again, the Sherwin-Williams remodel in the First Bank building. And E49 water distribution sewer mains are still in the progress of being installed. Our water quality for this month, the Baptiste came out as good. The state samples for the TTHMs and HA5s, that's just the byproducts of chlorine that's in the water. Just wanted to just make sure that the water's not sitting in our distribution and causing some health issues. So we're good, those results came back good. And we have no fire hydrants out of service currently, but we are doing fire hydrant maintenance along with directional flushing of the water mains. Does the board have anything further about our water operations report?
Give it a minute on the fire hydrants, we got beer gardens there tonight.
How about that subject to wherever that event comes to be?
Subject to Marcus.
Subject to Marcus.
Just put it on my bill.
What's the word on the marketplace anyway? Bentgrass. So the corner lot, Randy Case and them never came back to us. They have never submitted anything else.
No,
They just walk away on that.
I don't know, I'm sure they're gonna come back with something.
And nothing on the Dunkin' Donuts behind the 7-Eleven and their partnership with whoever they were trying to.
Yeah, nothing's all the way.
50% on their lot. All right.
So the rumor is up in Chapel Meridian, there's a new like meat shop that's going in, it's like a temporary rental. So supposedly they're gonna build something behind 7-Eleven.
That's news to me.
Well, and they've said that Circle K was going in over at Meridian too, in that little
Been
shop
saying
there.
that for 10 years, so.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, item 15, wastewater report. Alrighty.
July DMR is complete. New bar screen, we had some issues with getting online with some, the motor, the original plans changed, they put a different motor in, and they didn't upgrade the fuses on it. We got that solved, and it's been running for a month now, and it's nice. To go along with that, there's enough money left over to put an actual heater in the headworks building. I just found out today that we have ordered one, but it's not gonna be here till late February, early March, so. Our need for the heater is pretty much useless for 1 year, but it'll get us through for the next 5-6 years after that. UV compression is going back and forth, started to Denver over, installing the wrong motor in blower 3. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that, it's gonna be another year finger pointing. The only saving grace is I don't have a VFD in that blower anymore. But at some point, I have access to a motor, it's $34,000. What's the point, just tell them, just eat it. I'll grab this one, you pay for it. Because we were running on one blower for quite a while. Reason why goes the next one, we blew a VFD on blower 2. When they first installed the electrical cabinets, I think they're only like 3 inches apart. We couldn't get the hot air to vent out of them properly, and they kept overheating. We kept blowing fans. But I think it just overheated enough times that the VFD blew. As long as we don't have a usable blower 3, earlier this week we moved the VFD out of 3 into 2, reprogrammed everything, so we back up to having 2 blowers running now. We do have a new VFD ordered, again, like everything else. Arrival time is sometime in February. If we run into a pinch, we can grab a different style one and disable, or have to disable some safety features on the blower, but we could get it up and running. even with the bad motor in there, just, you have to take that chance. It doesn't come to that. The Grandview lift station has passed all the local committees, and it's been submitted to the state for final approval.
Is that a whole new design, or did they just use the one from Waterbury or the original one that was permitted through Grandview?
So, ironically, there's like no actual design, it's just talking about what they're gonna put into it, but the design actually hasn't been approved yet.
I think get the permit before.
So basically, it's just a site application, and if you saw what they have for site application, it's quite amazing that it went through. If I gave you a couple crayons in 2 minutes, you probably could have drawn it, but it made it, so. Two of the 4 aerators, Saul's handling, all the parts have been swapped out. Put a picture in a packet, probably doesn't mean much to you guys, but
Is that this
for us in the
picture?
field, it's pretty impressive, yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Thank you, anyway. We were impressed with it.
That's where we're having kayak classes next, right?
You're going in first. We modified the last 200 horse motor we had for Meridian Lift Station. It's been in service for a month now and running good. So hopefully we figured that issue out to get us by until the new motors come in February, March next year. This water plant's running good. Flows are finally backing down from infiltration. And working on reels and rags, which that's a done deal now. Lift station 1 for SCADA has been mostly upgraded. There's a component, we had to put a new memory card in. I got cards sitting at my desk, I just gotta come in and put that in. But they can basically just copy and paste that program over to Falcon Highlands, and the lift stations will be complete. Working on the water rights for Four-Way Ranch and Waterbury. New collections operators, been on for 2 weeks now, working out really good. Been popping manholes, finding infiltration. We're gonna, by the end of the year, just for cost effectiveness, find about 10 manholes that could use sealing. We'll have the company come out, they inject a kind of hoop in there that reacts with water, it seals it up. So there are a couple that are very substantial in infiltration. Didn't lose a collections operator, so you know anyone with a CDL, send them my way. Last Saturday, had 2 operators take their back truck and camera van over to Grace Community Church and Paintbrush for their annual Touch a Truck event. Apparently it was quite a hit again, so they appreciate us coming over. I'll loosely say we met with the GM of Paintbrush Hills and talked to them generally well overall for our district moving forward.
Okay.
And we'll be looking into switch on contracts in the next month, because if we do decide to switch companies, we have to give notice to our current one by October 1st. Any questions?
Any questions for? No? All right. This page is printed on the back here. The amendments, the water purchase contract. First page is on the back of the crap picture.
Literally.
Ask them if that's what they're trying to sell us. All right, we'll move on to item 16. Items unfinished from a previous meeting. No? All right, item 17, board follow-up on older items. You had one at the meeting that I was on the last meeting. The meeting before did not have minutes, correct? Is that the one he was talking about?
No, we didn't approve minutes from this last meeting. The one before that?
Which meeting did we not?
I don't think
see them in this packet.
Right, so this is the July, right?
Is it- oh, yeah,
That's last meeting, no, it's the ones prior. I don't
So you're
think we
looking for
had them.
We
June?
don't have them.
He had a computer issue, we couldn't get them.
Yep. And we didn't get them this
Okay.
month either.
So that'd be for the June meeting. if it was-
Correct.
Okay. Let's make sure that gets on there for, because we don't have them, we haven't seen them.
Mm-mm.
I'll send them to you.
Okay. We'll make sure we get that on, and let's make sure that gets on there for board follow-up.
Yep.
Do we have any other follow-up items or on any older items? The board needs to look at. Okay, with that, with none heard, I'll move that we enter executive session for determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations under CRS 246402-4E, namely the underwater purchase agreement, the Waterbury inclusion, and to discuss the Eagle View metro, I guess it's gonna be a metropolitan district, or submitted as a metropolitan district. After we take a 5-minute break. Have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Sherry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 5-minute recess, and then we'll be in executive session.
You don't show up? I don't, yeah.
All right, other business.
I actually do have something I left off of mine. I won't be, at the next board meeting, I know. But Stephanie, myself, and Craig are going to go to the CPRA conference during that time. And then in October's meeting, I'm gonna bring them in and they can present on some of the sessions they went to and things like that.
Okay. Perfect, and board members, let Carter and the staff know if you are wanting to attend the conference in person or online for Keystone, for the SDA conference. That way they can get everybody registered.
Just next month?
Yeah.
What date?
12th, or 13th, I think it's 11th, 12th, and 13th. Oh, wrong phone.
I feel like that about my computer. Oh, wrong computer.
That's at home when I'm like reading 3 different computers.
We still needed a notary tonight, right?
I saw Carter's email on that, I don't remember what it was for. Let me see.
Doesn't the agreement have to be notarized as far?
You brought your stamp?
Is it fixed again?
I actually put it in my backpack the day he asked for it, and I've been carrying it around all week.
Look how responsible.
So I did, well, I've been working on a
Keystone
fire
Conference Center.
since the 24th of last month. Where's that? And so when he requested the notary, I went, oh,
Final version of the water purchase.
put it in the backpack now, and I'll just carry it around all week so I don't forget. Which I'm glad, because today's,
On your way to Silver Thorn and all that? It's pretty nice, it's pretty neat deal.
Mhm.
Huh? Yeah, it's pretty neat, it's a pretty neat conference. I went the first year, but now I do it
Mhm.
by web. So they, they live stream everything.
So we'll watch it.
very cool conference.
But it's pretty cool to go in person because you get to meet a lot of, like, all the old Supreme Court justices for Colorado, the old water attorneys, everybody from all the different districts around the state. It's pretty neat.
When does he get back?
I don't even know where he is.
I thought you just went on vacation or
It was a
something.
short little vacation. I've been texting back
Next
and
week,
forth with him
30th
all week
maybe?
already. I'm like, what's up with this? What's up with that? What's up with that?
Huh. I have no idea what day it is, so.
I said, who approved your vacation? And he's like, you did. And I said, you're a liar. Then they have great keynote speakers too during the
That they
lunches,
do.
breakfasts, our breakfast and stuff like that, so. You know, the guy that started Build-A-Bear was one of them. But who's, huh? Well, he's done like, he's climbed every freaking mountain in the world.
Just does Build-A-Bear on the
And,
side.
and so it's like, when he sold Build-A-Bear, it was just one of those, it's a motivational thing. You know, get off your butt and go do something, really. It's the
And go
premise
build a
of it.
bear.
And
Yeah.
go Build-A-Bear.
Take my children with you.
It's pretty cool.
I love that
You
place.
guys all went to one, didn't you? Conference, SDA conference at Keystone?
Yep. Over here.
You guys haven't went?
No, not yet. We have an online option, which I'm gonna opt to do that.
What's that?
They have an online option, so I have to opt to do that.
Yeah, but the online thing is like, if we've been, I've been to it a couple times, but it's better sometimes to go in person and meet everybody than just watch all the seminars online. Cause all those boards change over. Plus it'd be nice for somebody from our board to go to the vote. I haven't gone the last 2 years, I've been doing the webinar, but you have to be there in person to vote at the state conference.
Voting for one.
Board members on the SDA board, any other issues they have, that then you vote on insurance, you vote on insurance rates.
Does each district get one vote? How many special districts are there in the state, do you know, Joe?
A lot, I don't know, off the top of my head.
Oh, it's interesting, that Eagle deal.
I know there's over 300 fire special
Put
districts.
a 3-mile radius around their thing, I think there's 33 metro districts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's part of the
Just
district
around here.
requirements when you.
Because there's,
up Woodman Road.
Denver's kind of weird because you have like, you have a mosquito treatment district. That's all they do is spray for mosquitoes, that's it, that's all they do. You have, you'll have like several just recreation districts.
Isn't a metro district by definition a special district that offers at least 2 of the special district services?
Yes,
That's what it is?
yes.
Huh. And
So
Michigan is
most
one
of them are consolidated to one type of service.
Yeah.
Metro districts are unique because generally they offer sanitary services, water, or park and rec and sanitary. They offer a combination. So, ours is unique because we have 3. And ours is even more unique because I think we're still one of the only 6 in the state that is only fee-based. We have no mill levy money, so. Which is unique. Every time we go up there and you talk to those folks about it, they're like, really, you guys don't have a mill levy? You have fee-based, it's not guaranteed mill levy money, no, it's fee-based.
Yeah, all the ones I'm aware of are water and sand.
Yeah. So it's pretty neat. No other business?
Sorry, I think we have 2. The first is the July minutes,
Okay.
and these are just for review and approval.
That was these. All right, first one is for approval or disapproval of the July 27th meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to, actually, I'll just make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by me and a second by Sherry to approve those minutes. Any other discussion on them? No? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Those are approved, and we'll look at the other ones. Next meeting, we'll see the other item.
The second item is my coworker had a hard time who prepared the Circle K inclusion agreement, has already made the revisions and sent it back, removed all references to reclassifying to residential, and has added the language specifically stating that the property will remain classified as a commercial property, will not seek reclassification of the property.
And
Pass this for review.
I would still like to keep it tabled till the next meeting so that we can send it back to them and make sure they're good with those changes instead of approving it, since we're making some pending changes right now. I think it's only appropriate to send it back and let them review it as well. Say, look, the board was not comfortable with the language in it. We can make these changes and see and get their response. If they're good with it, we'll take it up at the next meeting.
Certainly.
Everybody all right with that?
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm not sure, I know they're working on something with the county, but I'm not privy to that.
I believe they're trying to get on the docket of the county. And that's what the push was.
Do you have any other information on that one? Do you know what all they're trying to do with the county?
I don't.
Okay.
That would be something with Georgia, is the one that's been corresponding with Heather.
So John, now they passed the rules and regulations, now they got the fees in place for like the well capping or whatever, for like the whole place. Once we finalize that paperwork, do you know how long it takes to actually go through the county to have the inclusion approved?
So it's relatively quick. So part of we've been holding off on the owl place inclusions specifically because the agreement states that they're subject to the rules and regs. Some of the new rules and regs we've added, capping the wells, abandonment, stuff like that, we wanted to make sure that they were subject to prior to having them agreed to that in the district. So now that the rules and regs have been approved, we're basically gonna sign the water rights agreement, have them transfer all their water rights to the district, and then we actually just file a couple documents with the court. Total time, probably about a week, relatively quick, yeah.
Yeah, they were asking about that today, I told them I love them in the morning.
Yeah.
Cause we're sitting on the water and wastewater reports pending tonight's review.
Yeah, once basically we'll send out the agreements here tomorrow. And once the special warranty deeds are all executed, we'll go ahead and file everything with the court, usually a couple days before.
Anything else? Any other business? All right, I'll motion we adjourn.
Good.
Second by Sherry, all in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Marcus, what food trucks do we have on